Welcome to Finding Joy and Confidence in Public Speaking. I'm your host, Andrea Houston, founder and CEO of Artitudes and the host of the Lead Like a Woman Show podcast. In this episode, we'll discuss your opening hook. All great speakers have them: a statistic, a joke, which I don't recommend, guided imagery, a personal anecdote that spirals away and then back to the subject of your speech. How about beginning in the middle of a story and work your way to the point? Or pose a simple but thought-provoking question, like what if you were the last person on earth who could write in cursive? Your opening hook is the most important part of your speech because that is when your audience will make up their minds about you and your content. Winning an audience in the first few minutes is the key to RAR, reception, attention, retention. Let's look at 5 effective hook mechanisms that you can apply to your speech to ensure that audience trifecta. All right, let's start with telling a personal, revealing story. Your story might not seem at first to relate directly to your topic, but you'll tie it in cleverly before launching into the relevant material. Your personal story tells the audience that you trust them. The message you send is that you are also someone to be trusted. You don't hide from your foibles, you reflect on them. Suppose I'm going to give a speech to a room full of homeowners about insurance. But there was this one time when I filled the upstairs bathroom sink with water because my cat was devastatingly thirsty. I turned on the faucet, plugged the drain, then promptly went downstairs until my ceiling began to drip, drip, drip. It took days to dry, but boy, am I glad that I had good insurance. You could tell a parable. Introduce your speech with a parable, an anecdote, to trigger your audience's analytical thinking. If I'm addressing an audience about the very dense topic of cryptocurrency, I might begin with the story of the Roman soldier in 400 AD who found a bag of precious pearls. He was not aware of the value of pearls in the society where his regiment marched, but he admired the craftsmanship of the leather bag. He dumped the pearls and he kept the bag. Whatever is of no use, he thought, couldn't possibly be of any value. You could start with guided imagery. Put your audience into a hypnotic state of attention by asking them to imagine themselves in a situation or a place. Describe it with sensory detail. Take them calmly through a minute or two of experience that you'll then use to compare, contrast, or support your content. The audience is likely to retain their mental images along with your content, just as a mnemonic device aids memory. If I'm giving a talk about a political measure involving land conservation, I might ask my audience to close their eyes and join me on a hike to a particular river I know, high in the Sierras. It's about mid-August, 78 degrees with azure skies. And while the last of the snow is melting at 12,000 feet above sea level, we hear the birds chirp. Open with a surprising statistic or a fact. Sure, you'll back up your material with research, but beginning with the proof inspires audiences to wonder how you're going to use it. Did you know? Fact. Now that your audience is surprised, angry, or intrigued, you'll tell them the where, what, and the why of it. You can ask a question. Let your audience know they're involved in your speech. They're active participants in your point. You want them to think along with you and evaluate your material. What would you do if? They'll ponder your question, and when you tie it back to your material, they'll remember it. So which one of these approaches to a stunning hook fits your content best? Which one inspires you to go back to your script and kick it off with some exciting new anecdote? Is there a personal story to be tied to your point? A sensory situation? I would love to know what you come up with. Thanks for joining me for Finding Joy and Confidence in Public Speaking. In the next segment, please tune in to learn about inclusivity and keeping your content accessible